Hey guys, it's Gavin here, back with you with another challenge this week. So a bit of background on this first. This is a diagram that I came across, or kind of created my own a little bit, and it's called the emotional cycle of change. It is effectively the emotional cycle that most people will go through when they're trying to make some kind of change. All right, so we're talking about in relation to your health, your fitness, your lifestyle here. All right. So what will happen is, if you look on the left hand side, you'll start off in this place of uninformed optimism, all right, where your mood and your enthusiasm is quite high, all right, and this is where you can see all the benefits you can get, all right, of joining a program or being part of a program, but you're just not sure of the work required to get those benefits yet, okay. And then what can happen is when we drop into this place of informed pessimism, all right, and we're thinking, oh, I didn't quite realise it would require this much effort, or oh, I'm not sure I can do this, or I'm not, or this is a little bit uncomfortable, or this might take too much time, or this is not what I had in mind, okay, um, which then can follow into us dropping into the valley of despair where we experience like frustration and fear. All right. And in the valley of despair, this is where you're maybe doing some of the work required, but it's not quite working for you, or it's not happening fast enough. Um, and this is where most people will quit. Okay, when we're trying to make a change at this point, this is when people actually quit. Um, and then they end up kind of almost like bullshitting themselves and everybody else, all right, and moan that they can't do it, it's too hard, and that they actually look for justification to quit. Okay, so almost look for permission from other people, even, or to come up with some kind of reason why they should quit, all right, to have that justified to them. When you're in the valley of despair, this is where you own your current level of comfort more than what you say you want. Okay, so I'll say that one more time. This is where you own your current level of comfort more than what you say you want. So you'll actually go back to a place where you're comfortable, even if you know it's not what you want, all right, because it feels comfortable to you. Um, and then this is at the point where we see those who are ruthlessly committed to what they want versus lying about what they want. And this is why you have to be very clear about what you do want and why it really matters to you. In other words, writing down why you're taking part in a program. All right. Now, if you can push through the valley of despair, and bear in mind, guys, this is where everybody or almost everybody will enter at some point when they're trying to make a change. But if you can push through that with a little bit of help, then you can get to a point of hopeful realism where you're thinking, oh, it might work. It wouldn't get better unless I try at least. I might as well, otherwise I'll stay stuck being miserable. Um, and then you're thinking, oh, I'm starting to get it, something's starting to click. And then we rise into this point of informed optimism, and this is where you're taking ownership. You're saying, right, I'm in control, I'm starting to get this, I'm seeing results. It's been painful in terms of it's been challenging or emotionally painful. Some things I've felt uncomfortable with, but guess what? I did it. All right. And then um, if we can stay in this point of informed optimism, we can achieve results forever, or we can become a bit blasé and life can take over again. All right. Now, by blasé, what I mean is, changing our attitude to one of, oh, I already know that, or I know everything, or I've done it once, so I can do it again. Um, or I'll do it when I need to fix myself again. Okay, by that, what I mean is that people quite often use exercise or dieting as a way to fix all the other problems in their life. Okay, and they kind of dip in and out of it, as opposed to exercise and healthy eating just being part of their foundation, so they can cope with any other challenge in their life. So yeah, if you become blasé and let life take over again, then you can enter this point of wanting to quit. But if we can stay at the point of informed optimism by continually trying to get better, all right, then we can achieve results forever. And your confidence and happiness that you achieve at this point will affect all part of your life. So your relationships, your sex life, your work life, your willingness to try new activities, which then become hobbies and part of your identity. All right, pretty exciting. Okay, but you quite often have to go through everything else before that first. And now, why am I telling you this? It's because I've been coaching for long enough now to realise when things start to go wrong for people, and I want to help you get through any tough moments, because there will be some. Um, so relating to the emotional cycle to change, or more specifically to the valley of despair, are stories which we tell ourselves, okay, which put us down the valley of despair and then make us want to quit, okay, anytime we're trying to change something. So, the challenge this week is to ask yourself, what stories are you telling yourself, okay? So choose one story you're telling yourself that is sabotaging your progress either now or has done before, because you might be happy at the moment, okay, but you still have to listen out to any stories that you're telling yourself that, that have actually sabotaged your progress previously. So listen out for them, and when you tell yourself that same story again, all right, choose a different path. All right, and the more you walk the new path, the more it becomes habit to you. All right. Now, to give you some examples, we'll go through these quite fast. All right. So, some stories that are typical that people might be telling themselves. Okay. So, time. I don't have time. It's not the right time. Okay. So, we always blame having too many social events on, or holidays coming up, and that's why it's not a good time to try and get in shape. I'll start on Monday. Once the kids are older and my husband work settles down, then I'll start. Food wise, yuck, I'm not eating that. I'm going to have to go hungry and eat boring food, okay, to get in shape, and that's a belief or a story we tell ourselves. Okay, I can't go out for dinner because I'm on a diet. Again, that's a story. It's not true. Exercise. What will everybody think of me? All right, so you might be holding back because you're worried about what other people might think. That's the story that's holding you back. No pain, no gain. That might be another story, but that's not really true. I mean, it's not a case of no pain, no gain. It's any pain you feel will be mental pain of doing something that's challenging to you, not pain as in, oh, my knees or ankles or hips are hurting, or I've got some nerve pain um, going, going down into my bum cheek. All right, so don't get that mixed up. I'll need to get fit before I start. There's a common story. Fit people are boring, so therefore we don't want to be fit because we think we're going to be boring. Situational stories. My trainers look scabby, so I can't start. This is what somebody told me. This was their story. I'm going on holidays, so won't be able to eat well or exercise. All right. Now, just because you're going on holiday, yeah, you might want to enjoy some treats, but if you say I'm going on holiday, therefore it's my holiday's fault for me not being able to eat well or exercise, then that's not actually true. Okay, just makes it a bit more challenging, and it's still possible. I have to have sweets, ice cream at the cinema. Now, I've not got a problem with any of these three things. I love sweets, I like ice cream, and I like going to the cinema. All right, but that's like saying I have to eat a certain way going to a certain place. All right, I have to eat, drink the same as my friends and family. Okay, now that might be holding you back as well. All right. It was a company's treat, so I had to. So if you're going to working away with your job quite frequently, and you get expenses paid for you, there's the option of, let's say, the hotel, you can have a continental or a cooked breakfast, and you're like, well, you go away, and let's say you're working away for weeks and end at times. Then if you're eating triple the amount of what you would have at home, then that's obviously going to catch up on you. Whether or not it's free to you, then you need to maybe make the decision of, that just because it's a company's treat doesn't mean you have to have it. Okay. Self-sabotage. It's okay for them. All right. Always thinking you're in a worse situation and everybody else, is in a much easier situation than you. I couldn't get up at that time. I'm frustrated, pissed off. So this is the language you maybe use. So rather than using the words like I'm frustrated and pissed off, how about you're challenged, all right? And by being challenged, you can then rise to that challenge and look a way to overcome it rather than just being frustrated and pissed off. Eating healthy and getting in shape is too expensive. Expensive compared to what? All right. So if we drop on this a little bit more, then what is eating and healthy, eating well and getting in shape? Um, what's that expensive? How is that expensive compared to these things? Okay. So what's the cost of feeling like a failure, wondering what you're doing wrong, lacking confidence, frustrated that you're on an all or nothing, or you're an all or nothing person, you can't go for the roller coaster, you're lacking energy, right? What's the true cost of these things to you, and how do you put that, weigh that up financially, or maybe you can't really put a financial cost on these things, okay? Um, so once again, the challenge this week, so we are staying out of that valley of despair, or certainly not being there for long, is choose one story you're telling yourself that sabotages your progress either now or has done before, and listen for when you tell yourself that same story. When you do hear that story, choose a different path, and the more you walk the new path, the more it becomes habit. All right, guys, that's all I've got for you this week. If you want to send me your stories, then I'd be really interested to hear what's holding you back, and anything that I can contribute, I'm happy to do so. All right, bye bye.